Welcome back to the Swag Shack. This is Swag Titties. And this episode, we're still looking at Wes's Flying Coaster Park. But we're going to work on the station building as well as the transfer track for the coaster. I will say, we talked about it in the earlier episode about like, hey, what's wrong with it? What do we need to change? The building just comes across as a rectangle. The entrance is not very visible to the peeps. Looks like we're getting a lot of peeps in the park because, you know, when you play a park long enough, it starts filling up. Yeah, we want to fix this up. We want to fix this area up. It might result in me having to get rid of some of this railroad track for the time being and maybe play around with a different track for the railroad to go around. So we're going to do that, clean this up first. I need to see all the pathing. As you can see, these pathing have been corrupted or changed to invisible. So we're going to have to deal with that. But yeah, let's get to it. We have finished sort of the outline of the station itself. Oh, we're missing a block in there. Look at that. Okay. So, generally speaking, it's sort of an open-air station instead of the closed glass windows. You've got the queue coming out of the station, coming into the midway, and the exit's over here. Unfortunately, the way the coaster was built, the queue entrance and the exit were on the same side, so sort of there's an entire section of this station that's unused. You know, if we were going to go in depth, we'd probably throw in a control panel with a peep for a peep scene and maybe some boxes for people to put their stuff in. But the main thing when you design the station is you would very much likely want to make the entrance on one side and the exit on the other, like a real station. Now that I'm looking at it, and I'm not a huge fan of the white area. I feel like this might be better as a different color. There's a problem when you're building coasters, and especially on small parks, where you make like everything all the same color, and it kind of becomes a little too uniform. So I think I'm going to do a little more changes on this. I'm going to try to make the stairs, and then I'm going to try to do the foliage in the front of the station, and then we'll get to the transfer track area. So I'm going to make some edits and get back to it. are going to take a look at the transfer track area. B&M has pretty large transfer track areas for their coasters. We can minimize it and make it maybe like a one train swap off. But what I will say is your layout oftentimes reflects, or I shouldn't say reflects, but your layout is determined by your transfer track area sometimes. So we'll be able to probably throw in a transfer track on this side. Or maybe, no, we probably can't do it on this side because it's got to move. But that means the supports of this coaster are going to go straight down into the transfer track potentially, which is not an issue. In real life, they'd be able to build around it, but it could look awkward in this build, but we'll see what happens. Well, unfortunately, my recording software froze in the middle of this. You can see I've done just a quick little transfer track support beam. I cannot, for the life of me, find one of the pieces I'm looking for in object selection. It's sort of like a roof or a wall piece that kind of goes around. I just couldn't find it. I don't care. I'm not going to put too much effort into it. It looks reasonable at this point. And in real life, you would have the brakes going along the entire area. So what I'm going to do right here live is we're going to copy and paste and then turn it around so that never hits. And then I guess if you never see it, it won't matter. Make the other piece underneath it look invisible. So if I do that, nope, wrong one. Nope. I don't even know what. Maybe it's already invisible. It doesn't matter. Okay, now I'm gonna build just a small little shack for the coaster itself, and then we'll be wrapping it up. That about wraps up today's video, or at least what I'm doing in today's video. A lot of this time, you're not building this with the foliage already in place. I'm sort of working with what Wes originally built. There's always like the focus of, hey, we want to make things visible when you're building so that people can recognize what they are without going like, oh, what's this shed doing in this area back here? You can see that flickering. The way to stop most of the flickering is to double down on the roof pieces when you're doing multiple layered roofs. We'll see if that fixes it the next time it comes through. But yeah, this is an updated station with the entrance changed up in the queue. Made sure to make it so people can't walk up into there. And then, yeah, I didn't notice it flicker that time. Still remove the train, so we're going to have to figure out a new train track or how to make it interact better with the coaster. But yeah, you can see now that theoretically, if this train was stopped on the brake run, they could transfer it and put it into the shed. The shed, this is super simple. I just made it basically an extra lane that could fit a train, and then covered it up with some similar colors to the current station. So that is the new station. Let's take a peek at what we changed it from. So this was the original. We've got some train tracks coming across. No transfer track period, just sort of a brake run. That looked kind of under-supported. You know, you got a support here and a support here. It didn't look very supported. And then the station itself, you know, we had the planters, and then we had a station where people were running around. Not a huge fan of these pieces. Well, I don't mind this pipe piece, but I do not like this realistic, like, not cell shading, but way more going on with this piece than the simple piece, in my opinion. The glass options are okay in certain aesthetics in parks, and, you know, there's nothing against that in general, But with what you're working with here, it just kind of felt like a rectangular glass building, so we'll go back to the new one, the new version. Oops. Here's the new one. You know, feels to me like the shape, the rectangle's broken up. Whether or not you like the windows looking in, I kind of left that. Honestly, I don't know. It might actually look better. Yeah, I think it kind of looks better with the roof closed up. So you've got just a little bit of variation on the roof. You could maybe throw in an AC vent or something, but since it's open air, you're not going to need any duct work on top of that necessarily. You still got your T. Now you have a transfer track. It's a little more believable. Believe me, this is not as accurate as you can make it. Just did a quick little version of it, and then you've got your transfer shed. So, hope you all enjoyed this video. If you want to see more of these, absolutely like, comment, and subscribe. Got some great feedback in the comments for the last video, and I look forward to moving on to a new topic in the next video. Thanks.